second.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to record it. So
I don't know if I can record it too.
No, I'll record it. What I do is I put it on YouTube unlisted. So the only people who have it will be the people us on the call. All right. So we'll have a record of it. So it's really cheap. You know, I record it on my computer, download it to my computer, upload it to YouTube unlisted, and I give you the link.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're doing now. So
all right.
We've got Abraham, Sairi, Sean McCormick, Bruce Firestone on the call right now. And I'm just about to share my screen. So the building, I think, that we've been talking about, Abraham, is 3608 County Road 2, Edwardsburgh, Cardinal, Ontario, which is very close to Prescott, Ontario, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct, yes.
And this is the picture here of the building. And it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's a good size. It has 11 rooms inside and has a garage on the back.
Yeah. So this is the property here, Sean.
Yeah, I see it.
It's not quite an acre, and you know, I think it's got 11 bedrooms in it and 2 bathrooms, so it's pretty friggin' big, and it's not far from the St. Lawrence River, right, Abraham?
Exactly, just right a little bit, just right before where the Thousand Islands starts.
It's not
like
far.
A little bit before.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There's another picture of it, which is kind of an angle.
And there's like about like 3 golfing courses around. Prescott and all the way to Brookville. Yeah.
Can you see the one up here?
Mm.
So there's a golf course here, and there's a nice trail here. So I really like this property, and this is the. So Sean, this is the little blurb that Abraham sent me. Sairi, you've seen this?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
So it's a large freestanding building with a back garage, I guess a garage in the back, 3,000 square feet, 11 rooms, 2 bathrooms, paved parking lot, 2 new furnaces, 2 separate electricity meters, new windows, landscape, close to Highway 401 and Highway 16, and the International Bridge to Ogdensburg, New York. Thousands of vehicles pass by every day, and zoning permits many commercial uses. So I had a couple of questions for you, Abraham. I couldn't see the garage, but is there a garage in behind here?
Yeah, just right behind it, and the garage was built separately from the building, as what I was told from Mr. Sven.
Right.
The garage, it's a bit newer, but it has a heating. I think I sent you a picture. It also has heating, and it has a door. It's automatically open. So yeah, so there's a garage just right behind it, and the garage is connected to the inside.
Isn't that fantastic? How big is the garage? Like, is it really big?
Yeah, like you can probably fit about 3 to 4 cars, maybe 3 cars.
Because one of the things, Abraham, one of the things inside that I thought about the garage that would be really cool is, you know, in addition to having some rooms that you can rent, you could probably rent the garage to what is called maker spaces. You know, somebody who does, you know, furniture repair, somebody who is an artist, somebody who is a mechanic, who knows? But these maker spaces or workshops are really valuable. Now, I had another question. Is this on well and septic, or does it have piped water and sewer?
I was told it has a well septic, that if I needed the city water, they told me, Mr. Sven told me that I could get it after, but not right now because it's going to be an extra cost, something like that.
It would be very expensive. So it's on well and septic right now.
Yeah.
All right.
It has a septic tank on the back. Yeah,
so it's well and septic. Okay. And then here is the, Sean, here is the zoning for it. Does it allow, because I think, Abraham, you told me that maybe Sairi and Maria and maybe yourself would all live there. Is that correct?
Yes, we could, because they're not far from Prescott, from that place, like about an hour. So they have a place to stay in Cornwall. So it doesn't matter, either I can stay there or my mom can stay there, one to take care of. But basically, all of us, we're involved in it somehow. So yeah, and even there's 11 rooms. I know that I said that we can live there, but like for example, the bathrooms they need a little bit of work. But if there's a room, two rooms that it can be they can be it can be lived because it's heated and everything. So I don't see any problem with it. You just fix it a little bit, and it's you can create a unit.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit more information. It was bought in 2012 by Sven Nowotny for $148,000. The site is about 37,000 square feet, so just under an acre. Mr. Nowotny is asking $300,000, but it was assessed by MPAC, by the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, at $172,000, right? And so when you and I, Abraham, talked to your mom, we talked about maybe she might put a food truck on the property.
Yes, actually, we're also interested in a food truck recently that we just saw, and we were trying to deal it because we wanted to begin with taking the ownership and putting a food truck there. Right. I don't know if you saw in the picture just right before, there was a kind of like a water baby blue food truck. By coincidence, this was a Mexican food truck.
No way, where is it?
But the lady...
where is it on the picture here?
I think you passed it. I think it was on the first picture. There was a little truck in there.
Oh, there it is. Here it is. Look.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a food truck, and Mr. Sven was getting paid around $800 for to rent the space to this lady. And by coincidence, this is a Mexican truck. And she was selling the truck for $30,000, but it's a little bit expensive. I can get the food truck or a trailer a bit cheaper. And so that was the idea of installing a food truck right in there, and since it takes a little bit less space. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A fantastic idea. All right, let's keep going. So the kind of things that are in demand now, Abraham and Sairi, are little apartments. So, rather than running a hotel, you might be better off with, little micro suites that are self-contained apartments.
Micro suites, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And then, remember we talked about the garage, could be a maker space. These are workshops. You and I might call them workshops, Abraham and Sean, but young people like Sairi might call them maker spaces. That's the cool thing to call them these days. And, I was thinking of food trucks like this for your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I went to see this past week. We saw a truck just exactly like that. And it was this truck. They were selling it for $6,000 at 242 kilometers.
Oh.
And it came from Pure Later, but it didn't have anything. It was just selling straight from Pure Later. So it was just painted white. And the inside, it was just a mail carrier. It didn't have any tools inside or anything for the kitchen. It wasn't set up. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And the other thing that Abraham and I talked about, Sairi, is adding some fun stuff as well. I mean, if your mom has a food truck, maybe having some ping pong outside to play, maybe having some bocce. Do you play bocce in Mexico?
No, I haven't played it. Other things I thought about was yoga outside.
Yoga's great. Yeah.
I think the town has mostly elderly people, and a lot of people like to have yoga in the morning during nights.
But Sairi, old people like to play pickleball. I don't know if you know pickleball, but people even my age, like to play pickleball. But there's lots of things you can do with this because it has a lot of room on this site. All right, enough of that. So let me get out of this. And we'll just go over to the deal points. So let's see if I can find the memo. Sorry, I have it somewhere else. Yeah. So what we did was Abraham and I put together some deal points. And Abraham, this needs to be updated. So Sean, just so you know, the seller does not allow any realtor. So I can't act as a realtor for Abraham and Sairi and Maria. I cannot. And that's correct, right, Abraham?
Yeah.
He doesn't like realtors.
I guess so. Maybe he's allergic to them.
Anyways, he's allergic to realtors. So Sairi, just so you know, in addition to being, you know, a real estate investment and business coach. I am also a licensed realtor, so I'm armed and dangerous. But, you know, Mr. Nowotny won't deal with a realtor, so it's up to basically you guys. So what price did you settle on with Mr. Nowotny, Abraham?
We came down to the price of 279. He said that was the lowest, and that's because he said he saw a big potential in it, and he showed me a couple of points. For example, there was a new warehouse of Tiger Giant.
Yep.
So there's like jobs coming into the town and everything. So he proved to me that there is a lot of growth and something that I could see myself to.
Okay.
So we came down to 279 for
279.
that property. Yeah.
Now, Sean, it's not on MLS. Is that going to be a problem?
No, that won't be an issue because we'll have to get an appraisal anyway. So.
Okay. HST is in addition to the purchase price. There are no commissions payable, unfortunately. The seller is Nowotny. Who is going to be the buyer? Are you going to be the buyer, Sairi, or Abraham, or Maria, or all three?
Right now it's going to be me. If anything, we might require like, I think it's a co-signer. It's the one that just signs for.
Well, how is your credit? How is your
kind of back?
How is your credit score?
So that's what I was mentioning to Mr. Sean this week. My credit score right now is at 614. It's a bit low. I know that banks normally, for example, TD, who has a, I forgot the term, but when they're willing to lend money to people, they're high risk. It's a high risk bank. They go as the lowest. They lend to people who have a credit of 630. And I'm just 15 points underneath. I'm a bit worried about that. I don't know if that causes any issues.
Well, I'll let Sean speak to that.
Well, what we could also do is look at, is it an option to have Abraham on the mortgage too?
The options right now would be mostly my mom, although she is as a casual right now. And I know that's not something that a bank approves or private mortgages. If not, it'd be my younger brother. But he is part-time and he just started his credit history.
Right.
So I don't know if they would accept somebody who has just started.
What sort of a down payment were you guys thinking that you could put together?
So we were thinking the 5%, but Mr. Seven mentioned that we can only offer him 10, that he'd be willing to start with that. I don't know if there's a type of contract that would accept less than 5%.
Well, for this type of property, we'll have to work something out where there's more of a down payment. I don't know if the current owner is willing to help you out, like you said, because maybe we can talk to him about getting a vendor.
How much, Sairi, excuse me, Sairi, how much was Mr. Nowotny willing to provide? Was he willing to provide some financing?
No, he wasn't willing to provide financing. He only mentioned that instead of giving him 5%, he would accept 10,000, which is 3% around there, around 3 and 4%.
So I'm not understanding that. I don't understand that. Is he providing you with a seller take-back mortgage, with a vendor take-back mortgage? Is he providing some of the financing?
No, he's not providing financing. He only offered us to give him less than 5% of a down payment. He said that.
Are you talking about a down payment, or are you talking about a deposit?
Deposit, yeah.
He's asking for a deposit of 10,000, and then he was open to investigate with the broker, and even he offered me one of his friends, a broker that is a broker, but I haven't contacted him yet.
Abraham, the broker, the mortgage broker is Sean. That's your guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't fish in two ponds.
No, I haven't contacted him yet.
No,
I'm just saying that he
Yeah.
offered. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's because it comes with the, because I guess he has expecting. I told him, well, I'm gonna go check with the bank and see what my sister could get a deal, and then maybe we can work something out. But right now hasn't been anything until now.
Yeah.
So he's just asking for 10 deposit, and I was offering 15, but he's 10. So yeah. And he left it at 279. So
all right, I'm going to start sharing again. So bear with me. Okay. So the deposit would be $10,000, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And excuse me. So Abraham, when we talked, you said that your family might be able to come up with a total of either $20,000 or $30,000. Is that correct?
20, 25 right away. Yeah, that's the max right away. If maybe the seller is able to wait a couple of 4 to 5 months, maybe we can reach about 30 or 25.
So you can see what I'm writing. So I'm going to say deposit is $10,000, cash on completion is another 15,000. So what that means is that you would give them a $10,000 deposit, and then you'd have cash on completion of $15,000. So you would need to have $25,000 plus a little bit more for closing costs. You know, you might have a legal cost, and you also will have some land transfer tax. So you probably will need $30,000 plus or minus. And that means that basically, Sean, they can come to up to maybe 10%. Is that something that you could work with, Sean?
Well, I'll have to do some more investigation on it, because since it's zoned commercial, it's going to be difficult to make it work with 10% down. As soon as the zoning is commercial, we need to come up with more down payment. So, does anybody, sorry, Abraham, does anybody own a house right now? Does your mom own a house, or is she renting?
No, we don't own anything right now. It's we all renting. Yeah.
Have you talked to the owner about doing what Bruce was mentioning? It's called the vendor take-back loan. So like he would lend you.
Yeah, I spoke to him about that offer that Mr. Bruce suggested me, but he wasn't open to. He said that he doesn't want it. He's not interested. Yeah.
How long has he had the property listed for sale?
He mentioned to me about for 2 years, about year and a half, close to 2 years. Yeah.
So
And he said that he been having interest people from Tim Hortons and basically from other companies, and some other people that they wanted insurance people, but none of them have been enough interested to buy it. Yeah.
good.
So it's not the kind of thing that Tim Hortons is going to buy. I think Mr. Nowotny is probably not very easy to deal with, right, Abraham?
He seems like a very calm, easy guy, but he's not, based on the price, he's not willing to come down. And I'm trying to find different ways to bring the price a little bit down. But yeah, and then he said also that he deals privately, and that his previous properties he's as deal with private. So his only way to go, it's private. That's what he mentioned to me.
Yeah. So Sairi and Abraham, if you need help to get this done, do you have any friends, or does your mother have any friends with some cash that they could lend you?
I'm gonna look into and see the options. I don't know anybody. I haven't spoken to anybody about the plan of purchasing property, so I'm gonna need to check on that. I'm not really sure on my sister's side or my mother's side.
So,
but we can check, and then we can
right.
get back on that.
is saying, because this is a commercial property, because it is a commercial property, that you can't just come up with 5% down. It's not like buying your first house, Sairi, or
Right.
Abraham,
Yeah.
because it's commercial.
Yeah.
But let's look at the good side of this, Sairi, okay? It has 11 rooms. It has a big garage. It has a big yard. It has room for a food truck. But Abraham, I don't think this property will work unless either you or Sairi or Maria, one of you at least, lives on site.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure one of us they're gonna live there. I'm pretty sure
Which
because
one,
we
though?
plan to have. Sorry.
Which one, though?
I think we would maybe alternate because of schedules.
Well, think
Pretty
about
sure it's gonna be my mom right away.
I think about the food truck, Sairi. The food truck is, 6 days a week. You probably aren't going to be open Monday, but you'd be open Tuesday to Sunday. And, it's a lot of work. You can't be commuting from Cornwall to Prescott every day. I don't think that will work.
No, for sure. It's quite a distance every day.
Yeah. So, and if you have 11 rooms and you have a bunch of little micro suites there, if your mom was living on site, is there an actual apartment in there now, Abraham?
No, there's not an apartment, but from what I can tell you, it's there's 2 rooms that they're complete. They're insulated, windows are good. So basically, if you're able to build like a small kitchenette and a small unit with the bed, you're able to live in the next week. Like I'm able to do that.
What was Mr. Nawatney, what is he doing with his property now? Is it vacant?
No, right now, what I asked him what he used to do with the property. And basically, he had many people interested in, and it was a winery, it was a bakery. Previous years, it was some guy was interested in the parking lot because he wanted to sell some high-end vehicles, and so it's been all through that to what I know now. And now he only uses it for storage because he has properties in Ottawa, so he backs. Brings a lot of stuff like wood and tools. So he has all his tools in there. He used it only for storage. Yeah.
So my recommendation, I'll let you talk in a second, Sean. My recommendation would be, so let's say you, Sairi, and Abraham and Maria could come up with $25,000. I would see if you could maybe find a few friends who would just simply lend you I'm just saying, maybe you could find, 5 friends who would lend you $10,000 each. So you could end up with $50,000, and you would sign promissory notes, if you know what a promissory note is. It's very simple, Sairi and Abraham. It just says, my name is Sairi, my name is Abraham, my name is Maria. Thank you very much for lending me $10,000. I agree to pay you 6% interest on the loan, and you loan it to me for 3 years. I'll pay you interest every month. Signed, Sairi or Maria or Abraham. So you might be able to raise $50,000, which would really help you buy this property. So you'd have $25,000 of your own money, and then just have a loan from friends. Maybe 5 friends, like I said, loan you $10,000 each. I think that would help. Abraham, do you know what your credit score is?
No, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's not good right now because I have some issues with schooling. So yeah.
I'm sure we all have issues. Maybe even Sean has had issues. I don't know. Maybe I have. But we all have issues. So this is not a phone call to tell you you've done something wrong. Not at all. We're all here to help. But there's a thing called creditkarma.ca, Abraham.
Yep.
Sairi, are you using credit? It is creditkarma.ca. Are you using it, Sairi?
Oh, okay.
Yes. I think I have my mom subscribed to it as well.
And
Yes, I was getting there. My mom's credit score is 780s, close to 790s, if I'm not mistaken. Although the only detail is that she is casual. I don't know if that would make any trouble into a mortgage, knowing that her job is not full-time.
Okay.
Well, we would have to, sorry, Bruce, we would have to probably put all three on the mortgage to make it work.
And what is the down payment that we need for this property?
Well, the one thing to think about that I was going to mention is that he's been trying to sell the property for 2 years. So he's not really in any rush to sell it, or he's not asking the right price. So he should be more, if he wants to sell it, he should be more willing to help you guys out. So I don't know if it makes sense to go back to him again to say that we can make this work with a vendor take-back loan so that he helps you out too. If Bruce's idea with you finding some friends to lend you money doesn't work, because we are going to have to come up with at least 15% as a down payment, 15 to 20% to make it work.
And what's that amount, sorry?
Well, 20% would be 54,000 plus with closing costs, which might be between 5 to 10,000.
Okay. And what exactly is it? Return vendor? How does that work?
Vendor take back.
Oh yeah.
So I find a mortgage for you. Say it's for 75% of the purchase price, and then the vendor gives you a mortgage for 15% of the purchase price, and you pay him back at the same time as paying the mortgage.
Okay. And what are the reasons that he wouldn't be willing to accept? Like, what are the
Well, the only thing I can think of, Bruce probably has some ideas too, is that he wants all of his money right away from the sale of the house, but he doesn't really want that because he's been trying to sell it for 2 years. So that shouldn't be a problem. Or if he's got $260,000 worth of mortgage on it, so he has to pay off all the mortgages. That would be 2 reasons not to do it.
does that change anything to the down payment?
Well, then if he does it, you have 25% down payment in the first mortgage company's eyes.
Okay.
What do you guys think about the price of the property? Is it reasonable, 279, or is it a bit high?
I was passing by. So.
Oh, hang on a second. Sorry.
I'm just writing some stuff down here for you, Abraham. So in terms of the price, you know, I haven't been through the property, so it's hard for me to tell. But if you could create some micro suites in here, and you could rent out, you know, the maker spaces, and your mom could live there, and your mom could run a food truck there, then paying $279,000 is probably going to be fine. Do you understand what I'm saying, Abraham?
Okay.
You know, I mean, I would rather you paid, you know, my own sense of it was, you know, it'd be easier for you if you paid, say, $240,000 or $235,000. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at, but it almost doesn't matter, provided that you can put the building to good use. In other words, if your family can live there, and Maria can run a business there, and she can have people stay there, you know, it wouldn't be a hotel, like I said. It would just simply be, you know, a place where people could rent on a long-term basis, you know, because there's lots of workers. You know, you mentioned, Abraham, that a Giant Tiger is going into Prescott, and there are lots of people who will work at Giant Tiger, and they make, you know, anywhere from, you know, $14 to $18 an hour. So they don't buy, those people don't buy homes, they need rooms, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, if you had, even if you had sort of like 8 rooms or, you know, rented at $500 a month, 8 rooms at $500 a month is $4,000 a month in income just from the rooms. And then you have the garage, which you could rent as a workshop. Maybe that brings in another $800 or $1,000 a month. And then your mom runs, you know, her food truck, and hopefully it's a success. So, you know, think about that. If you could make $5,000 or $6,000 a month with the building, and your mom could make a few $1,000s a month with her food truck, at least during the warm weather months, you know, paying 200, you know, what would you pay for you know, an 11-room building on an acre in Ottawa? You know, it would be, you know, probably $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it has great potential if you understand how to use it properly. And if you could make $50,000 or $60,000 a year with the building, you know, paying a mortgage of $200,000 is probably not that hard, right? Sean, what would the monthly payments be on a $1,000 mortgage?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I'm stating that it's a bit difficult to buy it right now because of the down payment. But I see a lot of potential that maybe on the return it can be good.
I think the return could be good, but let Sean answer. Let Sean answer the question. What would the payments be on a $200,000 mortgage?
It's probably about 12 to 1,400 a month. But I was thinking too, I know it's a bit off topic, but if it helps, maybe I could call the owner for you and discuss the vendor take-back mortgage for him, because I have more knowledge of that, and I could maybe help sell him on the idea of accepting it.
Wow. That's fantastic. Abraham,
I'm not a real estate agent, so it would
no, he's not a real estate agent. He's a mortgage broker. Abraham, what is Mr. Nowotny's phone number?
I'll give it to you right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna look into my email.
Mr. Sean, sorry, I forget the term of not the return back, the
lender take back.
Lender take back, yes.
Yes.
Would it still be the same amount for the down payment, $54K?
Well, no, you do your 10%, which is 25,000.
Oh, okay.
The owner does the other stuff, the other balance. Yeah.
I see.
Which is 30,000. So.
And what are the probabilities or possibilities that it would go through just me, or would it have to be the 3 of us?
Would have to be the 3 of you, because the banks have to see that you can make the mortgage payments. So it sounds like they're just working part-time.
I am full-time. Mom is full-time, but on the paper she's casual. And my younger brother.
That part would be okay. The lender has to see that whoever's on the mortgage can make all the payments. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So,
in that case, yes.
Sairi, how much money do you make?
A year?
Yep.
38K to 40.
And your mom?
37 to 40.
And Abraham?
Oh, I don't
30.
know.
Yeah. So between the 3 of you, you have about 110,000 in income. I don't think that'd be a problem.
No,
Sean?
No, it wouldn't be an issue.
So you would qualify for a mortgage. Abraham, what is Mr. Nowotny's phone number?
That would be 613.
Yeah.
261 4504.
So what I'm going to do, Sean, is I'm going to put in the chat box. I've got his full name and his phone number. Abraham, can you make sure I got that right?
261. Yeah, that's right.
And you can see also we have his email address there, Sean. Can you see it?
Yeah, I had it.
All right. So there's two things that I think should come out of this. If you're okay with it, Abraham, because Sean is a mortgage broker, not a realtor, if he has your permission and Saidi's permission, he will call Mr. Nawatney.
Yeah, sure, no problem. No problem.
And he will
we can get something done.
He will tell Mr. Nawatney that he is a mortgage broker, not an agent, and that he's working for you, Sairi, for you, Abraham, and Maria. And Sean, could you ask for two things?
Sure, of course.
Could you say, Mr. Nawatney, we've talked it over. Abraham and his sister and his mother would like to pay $242,000 for the building, but you have said your bottom line is $279,000. Could we go halfway between those two numbers? So that would be $260,500. So you remember, Abraham, you and I talked about $242,500. Mr. Nawatney's at $279,000. If we go halfway between those two numbers, it's $260,500. And then
exactly, yeah.
Then the other thing, Abraham and Sairi, that Sean will ask is, Sean will do a first mortgage. For what percentage will you do, Sean?
I would say 75%.
All right, so let's say we got it for $260,500 times 0.75. That Sean would do a first mortgage for the three of you, Sairi, your mom and Abraham and yourself, for $195,375. Okay, and then you guys have to come up with $25,000, which brings us to $220,375. Minus the $260,000 means that, I think, Sean, we would need a seller take-back mortgage from Mr. Nawatney of $40,000. All right. So Sean will ask, and if he says to hell with you, he says to hell with you. I mean, that's the way it goes. But if he wants to sell it, and he sold it for $260,500. He provided you with $40,000 of financing. Then your family would need to come up with $25,000, Sairi, plus your closing costs. So you need to have some extra money in there for legal fees and land transfer tax. So you're going to have to find that, all right? And the other thing, Sean, that you should ask for, because I think Abraham's on the right track, is you should ask for a closing date of April. So that gives you enough time, Sairi and Maria and Abraham, to save a bit more money. All right. So, and you want it in April anyway, because it's too friggin' cold to buy something in January or February.
Yeah.
All right. So is that acceptable, Sairi, for now?
Yeah, I was on mute. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It sounds good. It sounds like a plan. I had a question in mind and can't remember it right now. No. I'll remember it in a bit.
You can always email me or Bruce.
Sairi, do you have Sean's email address and phone number?
No, it'd be nice to have. Let me just take out my sticky notes. Okay, ready.
So email is Sean, S-E-A-N, at mortgage.
Yeah.
solutionteam.com.
Solution team.
Have you got it too, Abraham?
Sorry?
We're back and forth with the Zoom call. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have all you guys contact info, phone, and everything.
Okay.
Even mine.
Yes.
Even yours. I've got you now, Sairi. Yeah. So listen, you two, Sean and I are here as friends, okay? You know, we're not, you know, we're not going to make very much money out of this. By the way, Abraham was kind enough, Sairi, to send me $80 for my advice. Okay, and I appreciated that, Abraham, I did.
It's a lot of help, so it's a lot for us.
No, look, you guys, if you do get this property and you use it properly, and you could make $50,000 or $60,000 a year from the building, and your mom can make maybe, you know, $2,000 a week with her food truck for 4, 5, or 6 months, you know, you have to get your foot on the ladder, Sairi, and Abraham, you know this. If you don't buy a piece of property, you know, now when you're young, like you guys are, then when you're 50 and 60, it becomes much more difficult. You know, properties are more expensive, you know. So if you can find a way to do this, this could be life-changing for you in a very positive way. You know, you guys are young, you know, you can do stuff. So, you know, look, I've been doing this, and Sean has been doing this for a long time. And Sairi, I have 5 kids, and all of them are buying houses, you know, and they're getting a little bit of help from me, right? And so even though your mom is casual, Sairi, Sean has said that's not a problem. And the fact that she has a really good credit score really helps you guys. So you have to be optimistic, and you have to really want to do this. But if for some reason you don't want to do this, you should just tell us now, and we'll quit. But I think if you are able to buy it, and you are able to see the vision of what it could be, because it can be really pretty neat, you know, it will really help your family get a foothold in a new country in a way that you cannot get by just renting.
For sure.
Okay, so, you know, when I met your brother, I realized he's a very resourceful guy. You know that, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's resourceful. And I've only met you now for 52 minutes, but I think you are too. And your mother is a sweetheart. All right, and she really likes cooking.
I think we all like cooking or eating.
Well, I like eating Mexican food. So if your mom sets up in Prescott, I have 5 kids and 3 grandsons. I'm going to come and I'll order as much food as I possibly can from your mother's food truck if she gets it going, okay? So we're going to try and help you as best we can. And Sean will write back to all of us by email after he talks to Mr. Nawatney, okay?
Yes, I will.
And Abraham and Sean and Sairi, I have taken notes here, and I'm going to send you all my notes by email so you have them, okay, guys?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, sounds perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
Have a good
See you
day.
later, boys.
Thank you.
Girls. Thank you.
I appreciate the time. Thank you.